Good morning, everybody. I'm Kirby and this is Kirby Q. Today I'm with Big Dog BBQ with Theresa Bell and her husband Larry Bell. And today we're going to be doing
pork butts. Competition pork butts.
Competition pork butts. Now I'm going to step out of the way and get behind the camera and let Larry and Theresa do what they do. Alright, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in.
Here we have about, there's about 10-pound pork butt, Boston butt, lots of different names for them, certainly recently. I'm just going to trim this up a little bit and then we're going to move on to the next step. Now that I have the gloves that are 3 times too big, but at least I could get them on. This one's not too bad. Now, there's something that if you're doing a competition, you know what this is. Okay, for those of you that don't, that's called the money muscle. I don't think I need to explain that. Now, this will get done much quicker than this. So you have to be really careful as to when you're pulling your butt. You're going to want the back for pull and tubes, but you're going to want the front here, the money muscle, for medallions. So you want to keep a real good eye on that. Let me get some of this fat off. Yes, very challenging. Of course, I'm going to try for no foreign objects in the box. By then I'll have the right kind of gloves on. Just going to get a little bit of this off. Kind of a little definition for the money muscle here. Because what we want when we cut it, we really want some real nice round medallions. It doesn't happen very often, but I want to try to get it as close as we can.
And why is the money muscle so important in competition barbecue, in your opinion, Theresa?
Well, kind of what I was taught was that you have to have a better idea of what you're doing, fire management, time control, because of these 2 pieces of meat. And they really are, they're 2 different muscles. The little striated one here, the money muscle itself, again, as I mentioned, it's going to cook quicker than the rest of the butt. It has a more delicate texture. When it's done right, it just melts in your mouth. Not that any other way on a money muscle is bad, but the judges are usually looking for that melt in your mouth flavor. And that's important because it's pretty much how good is your pit master. How manage the flame correctly. Are you paying attention? Are you using your thermal pen? So, okay, so let me get a little bit off of this side, and the next we're going to do is Larry's going to go ahead and inject this. Now this is kind of your standard injection from what I can tell. Apple juice, salt, sugar, some Louisiana hot sauce, and that's kind of about it. We're not trying to add flavor to this. We're hoping to preserve the pork flavor and continue to keep its moistness in there. But yeah, I don't have to do much on this one. Okay. You want to put it back in the pan, in one of those pans to inject, and then we'll put it into the oven. Yeah, we're going to put it into the oven. The oven we keep outside. Okay, that's pretty good. We got this really awesome injector, Chops Power Injector. Holy mackerel, it's awesome. Watch him do this, and I did not get paid from him.
We started out with the manual injectors, little 1 tube, one needle jobs, and they work fine, but they take a lot of effort with your hand, and you got to reload them every time you do a little inject, so it takes forever. So this is just cutting off a little bit of time, making things easier. Four at once. Make sure we got some. Okay, we're going good there.
4 needles.
No waiting. Ooh.
And of course, you're going to want to hit that money muscle really good with the injection. Again, you're trying to maintain the moisture, and that's what that really needs. It'll also kind of buffer you a little bit. If it does tend to get a little bit overcooked, this moisture may be what saves you. that is just the most wonderful thing.
And if y'all hear that rain, it's because it is raining. It's not some new age soundtrack we got going on in the background.
Yep.
But competition cooks, rain, sleet, or snow, we gotta cook.
We do. We cooking them all. We cooking them all and kind of go, wow. Am I insane? Well, if I am, all 65 other teams here are just as insane, so I'm in good company.
All right.
That's kind of the mental state I'm in at about 2 in the morning on Friday. It's like, what?
Oop. Any of y'all out there who have children, if you remember when you first changed the diaper on your son, that's kind of what we're doing here. You have to jump back sometimes.
You can actually see the meat rise once he's done the injection in it. It's just like puffs up.
That's good.
Okay, so now we are. Now we are going to put some rub on it, and then we're going to get into the Vulcan 33 smoker right behind me. I'm sure Larry's going to want to say something about the smoker, but we have the smoker for, this is our second season on it. Absolutely thrilled. I never ever would have thought I would want a smoker like this. It didn't look like a barbecue. It is wonderful. It's easy to take care of, and our scores went up proving it. So let me get some rub on this so we can get this into the smoker here. We're running the smoker at about 300. By calculations, this should be done in about 7 hours.
All right.
But there's more. I have 2 more that are, this is like the beginning stage. I've got the middle stage where we're going to pull it out of the smoker and get it wrapped. And then we've got the final stage where it comes out in smoker. So we're going to I'm going to walk you all the way through this. And like I said, it's a bit, kind of an abbreviated session of what our competition cooks are like. Rain and all. Rain and all.
Now, word on the smokers. When we first started competing, we were using Weber Smoky Mountains, WSMs, the larger ones, and they worked just fine, and it was pretty good because they were less expensive to get into. But the reason we switched is what we have here with the big cabinet smoker is a little bit more steady temperature and a little bit bigger volume, and on a day like today when it's raining, it's less likely to cool off when the rain hits it. It's pretty well insulated. So there's a lot of people out there cooking on all sorts of different things, everything from the big expensive jambos to the ugly drum smokers, but everyone, you know, there's people winning on everything. So, but this is suiting our purposes pretty well. We like it.
Okay, we're ready to rock and roll. Ready to get this into the smoker.
Okay, so let's go ahead and put it on.
Yep.
You open it up and I'll put it in.
Okay, and then we need to pull the other one. So,
Put this one on as if we were... So at this point, this one has been on for about 2 to 3 hours, and so it's ready for the second injection. So at this point, one of the things we've developed over 3 years of competition is a nice, well-honed, well-executed sequence of stuff that we do to get all it. And all that went out the window this morning. So
like that. Okay, let's get this second injection going. Now, we like to do a two-part injection. This one should have a little bit more flavor to it, a little bit more complex. And we're not using any phosphates. We're just hoping for good meat, tender meat, wet meat. So we do a second injection to hopefully make that happen. Whew, yeah.
And if a little bit, dribbles back out, that's okay because we got the pan lined with the plastic bag, and so that'll kind of serve to help provide a little bit of steam as it cooks.
Okay. So I'm just gonna fold up my cooking bag here. These may seem unnecessary, but they really help with cleanup. And we've decided that we will pay a little bit of a convenience fee to have a lot less to clean up. So what I do is I just gather all of the bag, and I don't want the foil to touch my meat because there's sometimes that my meat has tomato product, tomato foil. You get silver flakes on your food where it touched. So a lot of people have known that from getting DQ'd. So that's the other reason that I really like using the bag. And this is going to go back in the smoker probably another 5 hours or so. And away we go. Okay, so we did the first section of the prep on the Boston butt, whatever you want to call it. So we've just done the second stage, which was a second injection with a slightly different injection. Added a little bit more rub, wrapped it up, that's a wrap, popped it back in, and when that is done 5 hours later, this is what it's going to look like. Steamy glasses and all. So right off the top, I'm going to say this money mussel is going to be real crumbly. So I think it's really overcooked. But gosh, fogged up my glasses. This is what we've been doing all morning. Now this is going to be really hot too. Okay, darn it, I can't find what I'm needing right now. Okay, and that's where the plastic bowl comes in. Okay, this is going to be hot. Okay, the bone is just totally trying to jump out of that piece of pork.
Now, if you're cooking for the backyard and all your friends over on a Saturday afternoon, if it's falling apart like this, that's ideal. Everyone's happy with that. But for the competition, you want it a little bit tighter, not quite so mushy. So that's where it gets to be a challenge. Can I help you?
Yeah, it's too hot for me to use with just these gloves. Maybe I can get it out in chunks. No, I can't. It's hot in there. I brought my Black Mamba gloves out somewhere.
Okay.
We don't have time to screw in here. Okay,
Where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right.
Got it?
Tough through it, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't have any problem turning this pork in, heat-wise, to the judges, because it's hot. It would have to cool off before it could even be given to them. I'm going to, even in its lava hot stage, I'm going to try to pull a couple things apart. Now, I talked earlier about the money muscle, and that's this guy right over here. So, what I'm going to do is try to prevent a flood. I'm just going to really wide of where I know I want to cut, so that I have plenty of room to mess around if I have to. Okay. Well, we can see a little bit of the
What's your electric knife?
yes, the interior second rub, or yeah, second injection. There you go. See a little bit of a smoke ring there, so not bad. So I'm going to put this to the side.
Turn it over again, Theresa. Let me zoom in on it. And y'all can see that smoke ring right there. That's a real good
Right
show.
here.
Yep. Okay.
And as far as smoking goes, we used hickory and cherry on everything. And it seems to be doing well. Now, earlier I mentioned different parts of the horn, cables. This is a very small, I guess you'd call it a horn, but it's also got a little bit of bark here. So a lot of the judges, a lot of people in general like the bark. Me, not so much. But what I would do is I'd put some of this aside that I think might work for my box, and I'll keep it in some of the jus that's still so hot, and keep it moist while I pick through this whole thing, maybe 4 of them, to get what I want to put in my pork box. As a judge, by the time I get to pork, I'm about done. So I try to keep that in mind for the folks that are getting my boxes, and obviously give them the best. I'm not going to give them 6 different things to try because I know that they're about done. So this actually has some really good smoke on it altogether. Not just that one section, which I'm really proud of. Good job. Good job. Yeah, so, and as you can see, this comes apart pretty much in hunks. You could trim that up. You could probably trim that into 2 or 3, or you could use it as your centerpiece for your box. You've got a lot of possibilities with that. And the same thing here, you can see, that's not so much one, but here's this is one, it's 2 big muscles right here. And you can tell it's tender. This was the dark meat I was talking about. It's very, very tender in there. So this would definitely be a contender to do something in my box. A little bit more bark maybe. Like I said, I'm not a fan, but I know there are fans, and I want to make as many people happy as I can. I think that might be it. And we're going to do this with the electric knife. I think that's going to be about all I would pull out. And of course you're going to want to clean up a little bit of the fat and stuff, although Larry did a really good job when he trimmed them, that he got most of it out. So very fortunate there. So let's put this in here. It's not lava anymore, but it's still not cold. Okay. So that's pretty much the big part of the pork butt. So even though it's the same, exactly the same sauce and everything else that we have. Yeah, now so what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how overdone my money muscle is right now. Because I'm pretty sure it is going to be. But before I do that, some of this stuff out here is what I'm going to take off to kind of round it out a little bit. So it doesn't look so raggedy like I just tore it off the pig there. Yeah, it's going to be a little... Oh, we'll see what we get. Let's just see what we get. Okay. Loud noise coming up. Now, your ideal with all of your boxes actually is to get 6 perfect or as near to perfect servings as you can. So I'm going to try to get 6 really good servings. I have my doubts, but let's give it a shot. Excuse me. It's still hot, but it is also falling apart. I'm going to have to cut really. Well, there's a reason we cook 4 butts. This is the reason. I bet it's delicious. You can see the smoke ring on that one too. But it's shredding and falling apart, so I really can't put that in a box because I'm going to get probably maybe a 6 or 7 on tenderness. So if it ain't good, I'm not putting it in the box. But it's good eat. It's hot.
Okay. I'm taste testing this pork.
That's right.
And
It's 9 on being
flavor.
hot.
Flavor. It's really good. Really good.
Very flavorful. I like that combination. Well, I know what we're having for dinner. Again. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I sure know every time I watch one, I learn something, and it's amazing. I didn't know that. Well, what do you do? But you don't know what you don't know. Take care, and if you're out on the barbecue circuit and you see us around, please be sure and stop by and say hi. Have a good day.
Big Dog BBQ, Theresa Bell, Larry Bell here in Virginia, representing the 757. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Hey, if you like this video, subscribe, share it, favorite, subscribe. And also, like them on Facebook.
Yeah.
You'll see them on their link in the description box, like their Facebook page.
Yes,
Big Dog
please.
BBQ. All right. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.